can we see significant improvement from Lincoln Riley's, the defense this year? That would be a blessing. But from what you can see, so I guess coaching continuity, that is my question, Tim, is can USC's defensive side of the ball, the coaches on the defensive side of the ball, can we see an improvement overall, jumping from year 1 to year 2?
Yeah, I would have to say with the upgrades at pretty much all 3 levels, as we discussed, there's very little chance that we're going to be worse. My question is going to be, or even the same. I know we're going to improve, but how much are we going to improve by? I think I said last week that, can you imagine this offense with a top 30 defense? I don't think they can improve that much. But let's just say they get within the top 50. Again, with the same coaching staff, a lot of players returning, huge upgrade at linebacker, getting Zion Branch hopefully back. Everyone else, safe positions, another year in the system. Kalen Bullock, we know is going to be a stud back there. I think that it could be a good defense with all that continuity. But this is Alex Grinch's year. He's been under the gun a lot. One thing I told you very early on, Rick, was the fact that, I have a hard time. People keep hitting, saying, "God, this guy's terrible, fire him." But you look at the guys that have hired him. The guys that have hired him, the 3 of the best offensive minds that you can think of. You had Urban Meyer, and then you have Mike Leach, the Pirate. You had Mike Leach, then you had Urban Meyer, and now you have Lincoln Riley. Those are 3 pretty good guys that know how to run offense. And for them to say, "Hey, I like you as a defensive coordinator," they must be seeing something in him. And what happened in Oklahoma happened in Oklahoma. I'm not doubting that you can recruit really good players, defensive players, because they have in the past. And this recruiting cycle, they did very well again. But I'm wondering if that staff could hire those kind of players at Oklahoma. I'm hoping that staff can hire those kind of guys at USC, and then that will be the difference down the road. And they're showing that they can do that, by recruiting the guys like Shelby, right, last year. So I think we will be pulling in difference makers, and Tackett Curtis. If that happens, then yeah, and if we can make this a top 50 defense, I think we're contending. I didn't say anyone out there freaking out. I didn't say we're winning the playoffs. I'm saying we're contending and possibly competing in the playoffs. And then really quickly, before we move on, Todd Gwynn, a huge supporter of Mark Rogers and our show. He is the East Coast USC. He's a Gamecock fan. He says Lloyd is a really good running back. Takes a few players to get him down. As long as he stays injury-free, he'll be a baller for the Trojans. And I was joking, obviously, about the Kentucky and Georgia defenses. He's going to have a field day, I believe, if he stays healthy in the Pac-12. Well, so I dropped and that's a key link into the chat. Was that Rick?
I was just saying that's what's key. And Todd, thanks a lot for the 411 on Marshawn, and I appreciate you supporting Mark Rogers, Voice of College Football channel. But yeah, what Marshawn brings is depth. Even if we didn't have Marshawn Lloyd transfer, I would have been very comfortable with having Rayleigh Brown, Austin Jones, Darwin Barlow, and the 2 high school recruits. But the fact that you get somebody like Marshawn Lloyd, that adds a different element. It adds more depth, and it's exciting to see. So I look forward to seeing that young man next year.